Welcome to Monday the Tsene with Pretoria Psychologists, your favorite psycho-education channel. Here to give you skaftin for beke. We are with you to give you something to take with you for the week to just guide you through the mental health journey. Today I will be talking about the role of physical activity as contributing positively to mental health. Throughout the month of March, we're talking about roles of different things and how they contribute to our mental health. So today I'm talking physical activity. Jogging, lifting weights, running, swimming, those heavy cardiovascular activities or hectic stretching. We know the names of those ones that get you sweating within 3 minutes or 30 seconds even. It might not be your cup of tea or your cup of coffee. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about, ultra marathons and, CrossFit and triathlons and cycling and mountain biking and hiking. I'm not necessarily talking about that, although yes, it forms part of that. I'm talking about the different ways in which you can be active that will contribute positively to your mental health. Research has shown over a number of years, even though more research has been done on physical activity, on our physical health, but there has been large bodies of research. Research has shown that there is a correlation, a direct correlation between physical activity and mental health. It reduces anxiety, depression, and also the feeling of negative emotions. It can also improve our self-esteem and cognitive functioning. Because of the fresh air that we're taking in, we are able to concentrate more, we are able to remember things, we are able to put in focus, so that is why it increases the cognitive functioning. And also with the self-esteem, when you are looking good, when you have accomplished something, when you have achieved something, you also feel good about yourself. It also alleviates symptoms that are associated with low self-concept, such as withdrawal from social interaction, and also those symptoms related with low self-concept, such as confidence. We can look at the impact of physical activity in terms of lessening tension. So if you are tense within yourself, the mental fatigue, as we have said, that if you're unable to concentrate, you are forgetful, some of the physical fitness can help to alleviate that and to also lessen that. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, so you are able to pat yourself in the back, and that makes you feel really good about yourself. So when you have had a target of maybe 50,000 steps or 60,000 steps or 10,000 steps, and you see that you have achieved them. I mean, some of us have got apps that show you that you have accomplished this on this time, and also give you some hand claps and some trophies just to motivate you, so that looking at that achievement can help you to feel more confident about yourself. It can also make us feel less frustrated and less angry. I have a client that said, nowadays I have had anger building up inside of me. And I said, well, try going back to jogging. This person was a runner pre-COVID. And I said, try going back to COVID. And now he has reported that his frustration build-up and his anger outburst has lessened a bit because he deals with that on the road. And actually, that's sometimes one of the ways in which you can deal with things, where you let out steam on the road, be it that you do something, vigorous, or you do something that is light. At least you are able to lighten the load. We can also have more fun as people. So people who have more fun with themselves, it means they are attractive people to be around, which then says that you have wider social support and wider circles of network, which then also contributes positively to your currency as a person. How does it look like? Maybe the practical side of the physical fitness that contributes to our positively to our mental health. You can go out in nature. As you can see, I'm surrounded by trees, and I can hear birds chirping. I can hear the rattling of the leaves as the wind is blowing, and that is such a feel-good environment to be in. I think it was about 2 nights ago, I was just around the fire and listening to some crickets, listening to some frogs, because it has been raining a lot, so there's bullfrogs that are out there, and just being surrounded with nature. It's such a beautiful, soothing environment where you can calm down, and it can even lessen the insomnia where you are struggling with sleeping, which again, it contributes positively to your mental health. Not everybody is surrounded by nature, but there are pockets of nature that you can find around you, be it in the middle of the city where you go into a park, or you go out into the field for a hike, or for even a picnic, and just a refreshing walk. So these spaces can be accessible as well, just surrounding yourself with nature. Something that can also contribute positively in terms of physical fitness is stretching. Just mere stretching can release endorphins, which is just as good as jogging, which is just as good as doing your hectic cardiovascular activity. So stretching releases those feel-good hormones, which are endorphins. And this, by the way, they are the same hormones that you get when you get a ping of a message through a instant messaging or social media, or even the instant gratification that you get from a bowl of ice cream. These are the feel-good hormones that you can get just for mere stretching for 5, 10, or even 15 minutes, depending on the time that you have. That also, the release of endorphins, the feel-good hormones, it reduces the perception of pain, not just physical pain, but even the emotional pain. So which then means that people who are physically active, they are more resilient to pain, and their perception of emotional pain is not as much as for people who are morbid and who are not moving around. Gardening as well as an alternative to physical fitness. As I mentioned, it does not need to be heavy iron lifting or iron pumping or jogging. Gardening, the other day in the morning, I was picking up pumpkin leaves. On this side of the world, we eat pumpkin leaves as one of the highest form of fiber, and I was picking them up for colleagues in the morning just before going to work. And as I got out of the garden, I was sweating like a pig, and somebody made a comment and say, "You are sweating so much, do you have high blood pressure?" It was not high blood pressure, it was because just that action of picking up the pumpkin leaves was a physical activity enough. So you can imagine just de-weeding the garden, or just spading the garden, or even planting something, or even looking at the garden can be so nourishing. Walking around the garden can be so fulfilling, to see something grow from what you have planted. It gives you that sense of accomplishment, that sense of purpose, that sense of looking forward, that sense of hopefulness, knowing that your garden is watered and that your garden is being nourished. The other one is a moving meditation. Some of us, we are not people who can sit still. You know yourself, those who can sit still, you are able to sit still. But some of us, we are unable to quieten out our thoughts. We are unable to focus. Just after 3 seconds, we are thinking of a million things to do on our to-do list. But I have found, even for myself, especially when I have made a lot of excuses over the past 1.5 years not to run, I said to myself, at least I am out of the house, I'm doing something. But I have found that my walks have been quite meditative. I will listen to something that inspires me or that motivates me, or a teaching or something to develop my life. And that will be, for me, a quite a mindful activity, and it also brings a presence where I am here at that time, because as I'm mentioning, I'm unable to quiet down my spirit and my mind, and so walking meditation works very well for me. And maybe for those who might have felt like you are unable to do the traditional meditation of just being quiet, you can also try that, where you are just one with what you're doing, the activity that you're doing, or whatever you're listening to, and that too can be a meditation. I'm aware that I can be speaking to somebody who is physically disabled, or you are injured like myself. I've injured my knee a couple of months ago. After 1 year and about 8 months of not doing a 21K, I went for a 21K around November last year, and obviously I injured my knee because I did too much too soon. And so I've not been able to do what I have been able to previously. So you can be asking yourself, how do I get around this? You can be able to do milder version of all of the things that I've been speaking about, which then still constitute some form of physical activity. All in all, as I mentioned, it is a there is direct link to physical activity and mental health. And I am saying, you don't have to think of doing too much, or buying gym equipment, or thinking of joining gym membership, or thinking of buying cycling gear. You can do something as simple as walking the dog if you are a pet lover, just going into the garden, doing a simple hike, not necessarily the gruesome steepy hike, and just walk in the nature and be well, and feel like you are at a place where you are regaining your mental health back. With that, I hope this kaftini, you can carry it on to the week ahead, and I will be seeing you in the next time. Bye.